Hello, everybody. My name is Eric D. Johnson, also known by BrightShine, right here in the city of Middleton County. Chevy is in the state of Tennessee. Today's date is early Monday morning, January the 20th, 2020. In the time 5:21 a.m. First, I thank all my family support for your continued encouragement support. This is part 2 of the same video dated January the 20th, 2020. Got a little cold. The weather, affects. His temperature been going up and down, up and down. Then it rained, so I got a little cold. But I've been taking over-the-counter medication, which been helping. Dayquil, NyQuil, Advils. I forgot to mention, yesterday for lunch, ate pork chops again, and for dinner, ate pork chops again. Now Saul from Tarsus, the self-proclaimed Apostle Paul, he wrote all those epistles that's in the Holy Bible in the New Testament. The man made, and he called himself an apostle. He a self-proclaimed apostle. Now the man-made religious organization, they use and misuse those epistles that Saul from Tarsus, the self-proclaimed Apostle Paul, wrote. One of them, Romans chapter 16, verse 16, salute one another with the Holy Kiss, the church, with the suffix ES of Christ, salute you. He don't lie. He's a lying, murdering devil, an occultist. And another verse that the man-made religious organization used as Saul from Tarsus, the self-proclaimed Apostle Paul, wrote. 2 Thessalonians chapter 1, verse 4, so that we ourselves glory in you in the church with the suffix ES of God for your patience and faith in all your persecution, tribulation, and ye endure. He lying. A lying, murdering devil. The Catholic Church be lying. That's a lie. All the Protestant churches, that's the Catholic Church, they be lying. Be lying. The American Restoration Movement, Stone Campbell Movement, they lying. That's the Catholic Church. The Church of Christ is lying. They lying. devil worship, Satanism, theism, Satanism, atheism, Satan. It's a lie. There's no such thing. There's no such thing. You made it up. Western esotericism and all that Gnosticism, Neoplatism, all that stuff is lies. It's a made up junk. You lying. It's a cult. You lying. That's a lie. That's a lie. That's good. Sure. ministry. attention to these verses. That's what we've been going over, about how God told you not to do that devil worship and that Satanism and the occult and divination and necromancer and sacrificing your children to Molech and following after all these different gods. God told you it's wrong. Don't do that. It's wrong. God said that's wrong. Don't do that. Don't look up to the sky and worship the sun, the moon, and the stars. Don't look in the water. Don't worship the birds and the fowls of the earth. Don't worship anything in the water. Don't worship anything on the ground, any creature. God said don't do that. Do not do that. I am the Lord your God, and I'm a jealous God. Do not do anything like that. See, God said that I prepared a place for the devil and the workers of iniquity to be punished. To be punished. You don't sit there and tell nobody. You don't tell nobody you worship the devil. You don't tell other human beings that you worship the devil, that you are Satanist, and that you practice the occult. You don't tell nobody that. God been telling you in the Holy Bible repeatedly, it's wrong. Don't do that. God told you do not listen to these people talking about they are sorcerer. We're finna go down. As soon as I get through doing this, we're finna go down. Charmers, fortune tellers. Do not listen. Omens. See, that was the end of all that. See, that was the end of it. That's the end of it. True. That's the end of it. There's no such thing as you being a Christian. There's no such thing as you being a Christian. That was the end of it. The apostles, the elders, and the whole church came together, and that was the end of it. That was the end of it. Continue to study the first century. Continue to study the first century. Now we're going to go to our Bible study before I end my video. And we're going to say the Lord's Prayer. In the Lord's Prayer, in the Holy Bible, in the New Testament. The book of Matthew, chapter 6, verses 9 through 13. And also the book of Luke, chapter 11, verses 2 through 4. And we're going to go to the book of Matthew, chapter 6, verses 9 through 13. The Lord's Prayer. Starting at verse number 9. After this manner, therefore, pray ye, Our Father, which art in heaven, hallowed be thy name. Thy kingdom come, thy will be done on earth as it is in heaven. Give us this day our daily bread, and forgive us our debts as we forgive our debtors. And lead us not into temptation, but deliver us from evil. For thine is the kingdom, and the power, and the glory forever. Amen. And again, there was the Lord's Prayer, and there was in the Holy Bible, in the New Testament, the book of Matthew, chapter 6, verses 9 through 13. Now we continue to do our Bible study, and we include these ancient people that are mentioned in the Old Testament, in the Holy Bible. In the Old Testament, and for example, the Amorites, Afro-Asiatic, the Egyptians, Afro-Asiatic. Now the Kenites. The Kenites were a nomadic tribe. They were ancient people. They were a nomadic tribe. They haven't been classified as being Indo-European or Afro-Asiatic or any other language grouping, the way they classify people by language. And the Cadmonites, they were also an ancient people who haven't been classified as being Afro-Asiatic or Indo-European. The Kenizzites, also an ancient people who have not been classified as being Afro-Asiatic or Indo-European or any other grouping. And don't forget the Amalekites. And the Amalekites were supposedly descended from Esau. So, and then you also have the Hittites. Now the Hittites have been classified as being Indo-European. The Perizzites, they are ancient people who have not been classified as being Afro-Asiatic or Indo-European or anything. The Rephaims, giants, they also known as Zamzummim and Emim. They were known as giants in the land of Canaan. Then you had the Canaanites. Now the Canaanites were descended from Canaan, and then they lived in the land of Canaan. And Canaan was descended from Ham, and they were classified as being Afro-Asiatic. Excuse me. Excuse me. And so the Canaanites also it was also used as a reference to people who were not descended from Canaan, but who lived in the land of Canaan. For example, the Perizzites, the Kenites, Cadmonites, the Kenizzites, the Amalekites, and the Hittites, and so on and so forth. They lived in the land of Canaan. Then you were referred to as being a Canaanite. The Girgasites, Afro-Asiatic. Now, Jebusite. The Jebusites have not been classified as being Afro-Asiatic or Indo-European. Now, Jebus. Jerusalem. Supposedly, Jebus was the name of Jerusalem. Then you have the Hittites. The Hittites and the Horites were Canaanites. And so they lived in the land of Canaan. Now, Philistine also lived in the land of Canaan, Canaanite. Now, the Philistine had not been identified being Afro-Asiatic. Some people suggest that the Philistine could possibly be Indo-European. Haven't been conclusively, established. But some people suggest Indo-European. Now the Moabites, Afro-Asiatic, and the Ammonites, Afro-Asiatic. Now we're going to continue our study on these ancient people. It's important. Many of the ancient people, like I say, Jebus, the Kenites, the Cadmonites, Kenizzites, Perizzites, the Hittites, the Philistines, they were not Afro-Asiatic, but they lived in the land of Canaan around Afro-Asiatic people. And many of these people had some type of idea of a supreme being. They had some type of idea about a supreme being. And so now yesterday in our Bible study, we made reference to we was in the Old Testament, in the book of Genesis. And we went to the land of Ur. We went to the land of Ur. we read from Genesis chapter 11, verse 28. And Haran died before his father Terah in the land of his nativity in Ur of the Chaldees. So we made reference there. We went to the quick reference Wikipedia, and we went to like I said, to the quick reference with Wikipedia, and got information on the land of Ur. Of the Chaldees. Now, let me see here. No, not reading it. Okay. Now, what we're going to do today is that we read the Old Testament, and it made reference in the Old Testament and what we're gonna refer to today is it talks about the ark, Noah's ark. And let me see here. We're in Genesis chapter 6. And I tell you what I'm gonna do. I want to make sure we get a good understanding of what's going on. So just give me a moment here. I want to read the whole chapter. Then when we refer to the quick reference Wikipedia, where we understand. So when I'm gonna read the whole chapter Genesis chapter 6, starting at verse number 1. And it says, and it came to pass when men began to multiply on the face of the earth, and daughters were born unto them, that the sons of God saw the daughters of men, that they were fair. And they took them wives all which they chose. And the Lord said, my spirit shall not always strive with man, for that he also is flesh. Yet his days shall be 120 years. There were giants in the earth in those days, and also after that, when the sons of God came in unto the daughters of men, and they bare children to them, the same became mighty men, which were of old, men of renown. And God saw that the wickedness of man was great in the earth, and that every imagination of the thoughts of his heart was only evil continually. And it repented the Lord that he had made man on the earth, and it grieved him at his heart. And the Lord said, I will destroy man, whom I have created from the face of the earth, both man and beast, and the creeping thing, and the fowls of the earth. For it repenteth me that I have made them. But Noah found grace in the eyes of the Lord. These are the generations of Noah. Noah was a just man and perfect in his generation. And Noah walked with God. And Noah begat 3 sons, Shem, Ham, and Japheth. The earth also was corrupt before God, and the earth was filled with violence. And God looked upon the earth, and behold, it was corrupt, for all flesh had corrupted his way upon the earth. And God said unto Noah, the end of all flesh has come before me, for the earth is filled with violence through them. And behold, I will destroy them with the earth. Make thee an ark of gopher wood. Room shall thou make in the ark, and shall pitch it within and without with pitch. And this is the fashion which thou shalt make it of. The length of the ark shall be 3 . 3 . 3 . 3 . 3 . 3 . 3 . 3 . 3 . 3 . 3 . 3 . 3 . 3 . 3 . 3 . 3 . 3 . 3 . 3 . 3 . 3 . 3 . 3 . 3 . 3 . 3 . 3 . 3 . 3 . 3 . 3 . 3 . 3 . 3 . 3 . 3 . 3 . 3 . 3 . 3 . 3 . 3 . 3 . 3 . 3 . 3 . 3 . 3 . 3 . 3 . 3 . 3 . 3 . 3 . 3 . 3 . 3 . 3 . 3 . 3 . 3 . 3 . 3 . 3 . 3 . 3 . 3 . 3 . 3 . 3 . 3 . 3 . 3 . 3 . 3 . 3 . 3 . 3 . 3 . 3 . 3 . 3 . 3 . 3 . 3 . 3 . 3 . 3 . 3 . 3 . 3 . 3 . 3 . 3 . 3 And it says that, and the ark shall be 300 cubits, the breadth of it 50 cubits, and the height of it 30 cubits. We're going there today. A window shalt thou make to the ark, and in it a cubit shalt thou finish it above. And the door of the ark shalt thou set in the side thereof, with lower, second, and third stories shalt thou make it. And behold, I, even I, do bring a flood of waters upon the earth to destroy all flesh, wherein is the breath of life from under heaven, and everything that is in the earth shall die. But with thee will I establish my covenant, and thou shalt come into the ark, thou and thy sons, and thy wife, and thy son's wife with thee. And of every living thing of all flesh, two of every sort shalt thou bring into the ark, to keep them alive with thee. They shall be male and female, of fowls after their kind, and of cattle after their kind, of every creeping thing of the earth after his kind. Two of every sort shall come unto thee, to keep them alive. Excuse me. And take thou unto thee of all food that is eaten, and thou shalt gather it to thee, and it shall be for food for thee and for them. Thus did Noah according to all that God commanded him, so did he. So let us refer to the quick reference Wikipedia, and let's look up cubit. Excuse me. Now, according to the quick reference Wikipedia, cubit is an ancient unit of length that has several definitions according to each of the various different cultures that use the unit. He said these definitions typically range between 444 and 529.2 millimeters, 17.48 and 20.83 inches, with an ancient Roman cubit being as long as 120 centimeters, 47 inches. The shorter unit, common cubit, was based on the forearm length from the tip of the middle finger to the bottom of the elbow, and was divided as 6 palms times 4 fingers, equals 24 digits. Royal cubits added a palm for 7 palms times 4 fingers, equals 28 cubits. And now cubits of various lengths were employed in many parts of the world in antiquity. During the Middle Ages and as recently as early modern time, the term is still used in hedge land, the length of the forearm being frequently used to determine the interval between stakes placed within the hedge. Now, the etymology. The English word cubit comes from the Latin noun cubitus, elbow, from the verb cubo, cubare, cubui, and cubitum, to lie down, from which also comes the adjective recumbent. Now you have an ancient Egyptian royal cubit. The ancient Egyptian royal cubit is the earliest attested standard measure. Cubit rods were used for the measurement of length. A number of these rods have survived. 2 are known from the tomb of Maya, the treasurer of the 18th dynasty pharaoh Tutankhamun in Saqqara. Another was found in the tomb of Ka in Thebes. 14 such rods, including one double cubit rod, were described and compared by Lepsius. In 1865, these cubit rods range from 523.5 to 529.2 millimeters, 20.61 to 20.83 inches, in length and are divided into 7 palms. Each palm is divided into 4 fingers, and the fingers are further subdivided. Then you have hieroglyph of the royal cubit. Early evidence for the use of this royal cubit comes from the early dynastic period. On the Palermo stone, the flood level of the Nile River during the reign of the Pharaoh Deja is given as measuring 6 cubits and 1 palm. Use of the royal cubit is also known from Old Kingdom architecture, at least as early as the construction of the step pyramid or Djoser in around 27,000 BC. Now you also have ancient Mesopotamian units of measurement. Ancient Mesopotamian units of measurement originating in the loosely organized city-states of early dynastic Sumer. Each city, kingdom, and trade guild had its own standards until the formation of the Akkadian Empire, when Sargon of Akkad issued a common standard. This standard was improved by Naram Sin, but fell into disuse after Akkadian Empire dissolved. The standard of Naram Sin was readopted in the second period by the Nasihim, which reduced a plethora of multiple standards to a few agreed upon common groupings. Successors to the Sumerian civilization, including the Babylonians, Assyrians, and Persians, continued to use these groupings. Now it said the classical Mesopotamian system formed the basis for Elamite, Hebrew, Eurasian, Hurrian, Hittite, Ugaritic, Phoenician, Babylonian, Assyrian, Persian, Arabic, and Islamic metrologies. The classical Mesopotamian system also has a proportional relationship by virtue of standardized commerce to Bronze Age, Harappan, and Egyptian metrologies. Now in 1916, during the last years of the Ottoman Empire, and in the middle of World War I, the German Assyriologist Eckhard Unger found a copper alloy bar by excavating in Nippur. The bar dates from 2650 BC, and Unger claimed it was used as a measurement standard. This irregularly formed and irregularly marked graduated rule supposedly defined the Sumerian cubit as about 518.6 millimeters, 20.42 inches. Now you have a biblical cubit. Now the standard of the cubit in different countries and in different ages has varied. This realization had led the rabbis of the 2nd century CE to clarify the length of their cubit, saying that the measure of the cubit of which they have spoken applies to the cubit of middle size. In this case, the requirement is to make use of a standard 6 hand breadths, 6 each cubit to each cubit, in which hand breadth was not to be confused with an outstretched palm, but rather one that was clenched, and which hand breadth has a standard width of 4 finger breadths, each finger breadth being equivalent to the width of a thumb, 2.25 centimeters. This puts the hand breadth at roughly 9 centimeters, 3.5 inches, and 6 hand breadths. Now, is 2.25 centimeters. This puts the hand breadth at roughly 9 centimeters and 6 hand breadths. 1 cubit at 54 centimeters. Epiphanes of Salamis in his treatise on weights and measure described how it was customary in his day to take the measurement of the biblical cubit. The cubit is a measure, but it is taken from the measure of the forearm, for the part from the elbow to the wrist, and the palm of the hand is called a cubit. The middle finger of the cubit measure being also extended at the same time, and there being added below it the span, that is, of the hand taken altogether. Rabbi Abraham Nai put the linear measurement of a cubit at 48 centimeters, 19 inches. Abraham Ishaya Karelitz, the Chazon-ish descendant, put the length of a cubit at 57.6 centimeters, 22.7 inches. And so Rabbi and philosopher Maimonides, following the Talmud, makes a distinction between the cubit of 6 hand breadths used in ordinary measure and the cubit of 5 hand breadths used in measure. The golden altar, the base of the altar of burnt offerings, his circuit, and the horns of the altar, and so on and so forth. And so you have other systems and cubit arm and leverage and so on and so forth. So in biblical, excuse me. So when we see cubit in the Bible, we have a view of what that measurement is. Actually, it was based on your forearm, from your elbow to your middle finger. Basically. Now, like I said, continue to study the first century. And before I end today's video, next time I have a opportunity to make my video, I will, based on my work schedule. But before I end today's video, we're gonna make sure we end on the right note. Let me see here. Let me turn to Deuteronomy. Now Now we're going to go to the book of Deuteronomy chapter 4. And we're going to start reading. In verse 16. Lest ye corrupt yourselves and make you a graven image, the similitude of any figure, the likeness of male or female, the likeness of any beast that is on the earth, the likeness of any winged fowl that flieth in the earth, the likeness of anything that creepeth on the ground, the likeness of any flesh that is in the waters beneath the earth. And lest thou lift up thine eyes unto heaven, and when thou seest the sun and the moon and the stars, even all the host of heaven, stand, shouldst be driven to worship them and serve them, which the Lord thy God have divided unto all nations under the whole heaven. But the Lord hath taken you and brought you forth out of the iron furnace, even out of Egypt, to be unto him a people of inheritance, as you are this day. So you don't do those things. You don't do that. Let me go over to Deuteronomy 18. Deuteronomy chapter 18. I'm going to start reading at verse number 9. When thou art come into the land which the Lord thy God giveth thee, thou shalt not learn to do after the abomination of those nations. There shall not be found among you anyone that maketh his son or daughter to pass through the fire, or that useth divination, or an observer of times, or an enchanter, or a witch, or a charmer, or a consulter with familiar spirits, or a wizard, or a necromancer. For all these that do these things are an abomination unto the Lord. And because of these abominations, the Lord thy God doth drive them out from before thee. Thou shalt be perfect with the Lord thy God. For these nations which thou shalt possess, hearken unto observers of time and unto diviners. But as to thee, the Lord thy God hath not suffered thee so to do. And so, you don't do those things. Don't do it. Now this is a list of place names of Native American origin in the United States. For example, state name: Alabama, Alaska, Arizona, Arkansas, Connecticut, Hawaii, Idaho, Illinois, Iowa, Kansas, Kentucky, Massachusetts, Michigan, Minnesota, Mississippi, Missouri, Nebraska, New Mexico, North, South Dakota, Ohio, Oklahoma, Tennessee, Texas, Utah, Wisconsin, Wyoming. And scroll down to the bottom where it says see also. And then you'll see a list of place names of indigenous origin in America. Now you know that piracy and pirates, that's that devil worship, Satanism, the occult. The United States Department of Justice, the Office of Juvenile Justice, the National Prevention of Bureau of Justice, assists National Gang Center Bulletin, in the title of that bulletin. History of street gangs in the United States, written by Mr. James C. Howe and Mr. John P. Moore. Now you can go to the quick reference, Wikipedia, and you can find the same information. And it'll be titled Gangs in the United States. Now these are just a few of the free logo design websites that you can go to make anti-gang logo. I'm gonna get ready to end today's video. Again, next time I have an opportunity to make my video based on my work schedule, I'm gonna come back. Continue to study the first century, continue to study the Holy Bible, and we continue to refer to these ancient people and to the Bible, period, and do our Bible study. You know, don't listen to that fortune telling stuff and all that occult and devil worship, saying that nobody has no claim on this earth or in this universe. Talking about you a devil worshiper, you a Satanist. You're an occultist. You're lying. You're lying. I'm telling you, I'm doing background checks. Until next time, take care of yourself. Wish each and every one of you the very best. My name is Eric D. Johnson, also known by BrightShine. I live right here in the city of in the county of state of Tennessee. Thank all my family, my support for your continued courage support. Till next time, take care of yourself. Wish each and every one of you the very best.